Why do I feel so separate sometimes? As you say that, I feel so much excitement and so much grief and sadness.
Well, the excitement's when you think about the beingness of it. The grief is when you think about the absence of it. It's just that simple. And when you really, really want something, and you've done such a really, really good job of creating this as you have, when you've created something so magnificently, and then you hold a thought like, where are you? I can't find you. Of course that's going to feel terrible. Because it violates this powerful creation that you have set forth, you see. It's you splitting yourself apart from you. And you don't do that very often. You do that less and less all the time. That feeling of sadness is becoming dimmer and dimmer, and the feeling of anticipation is becoming stronger and stronger. Just chill out. Don't try so hard. And don't try to explain it to the others. They don't get it anyway. They don't get it anyway. Esther had some questions that she was asking us last night, and as she was receiving the answer, she realized that these are answers only for her. Hardly anybody else could even begin to understand these answers. They are so far out here. It would take 12 books to bring people up to speed with the depth of the question that she's asking here. And meanwhile, it's just a waste of words to try to explain it, you see. And so just be intent on coming into vibrational alignment with what you have created, and leave what everybody else thinks out of it. They don't know. They can't begin to know. They don't know who you were coming in. They don't know who your love was coming in. They don't know how you've lived. They don't know what rockets of desires you've set off. They can't begin to see what's in your vibrational escrow. And only you know by your emotions whether you're lined up with it or not, you see. So this isn't something that, this isn't a question of if it will come. Of course it will come. It is coming. It is done. Most of it's done. So it's not a question of if, it's a small question of when, but that question is growing dimmer all the time, the more expectant you become of having what you want, you see.
So I'm doing well.
You're doing extremely well. Most people, and you're one of them, have what is itis. I see what is, and it isn't enough, and I feel bad when I look at it. I'd like to be over there, but over here is more compelling, because I've practiced what's over here more than what's over there. Even though I want to be over there is sort of distant. Over here is so present it's in my face. And most people talk to me about what's over here.
Yes,
hardly anybody says to me, what's in your vibrational escrow? What delightful thing has your life caused you to create? Most everybody says, what have you manifested? Because I'm using your manifestations as my ability to take score of how well you're doing. That's most what other of us are doing.
That's why I'm here talking to you.
And so what you want to do is, never mind what is the platform that launches into that, but you want to give your undivided attention to what's over there. And what's over there is beautiful, and it feels good, and it feels like well-being. And we wouldn't even use the word security, because we don't want you to feel secure, because we don't want you to try to compensate for insecurity. We just want you to focus upon the powerful creation that you've set forth, and find thoughts that feel more like it. And the way you do it is just by reaching for a thought. Esther drove for 500 miles yesterday. Wow. And as she was driving, almost every mile that she was driving, she was sorting something out. It took nearly 500 miles for her to come into alignment. And Jerry was hiding in the back of the bus. Oh, he didn't know that she was not in alignment. They were not having any conversations about it. It was just something that Esther was trying to sort her way through, you see. And all of a sudden, her heart started singing. She found her place. In other words, she just kept leaning and leaning and leaning and reaching for the thought that felt better, and reaching for the thought that felt better. And finally, she found a thought that felt better, and then another, and then another, and then another. That's the way you coach yourself into alignment with who you are. Yes.
And the last thing I want to add is, so I've done online dating, and I'm wondering if that puts me further away from what I'm wanting, or closer, or how to hold that.
It's irrelevant.
Okay.
It's irrelevant. Do it if it's fun. It's irrelevant.
Okay.
What you want to say is, you see, you're still asking, how's it going to come?
Yeah.
How's it going to come? Which means you're still trying to figure out how to make it come, which means you're still not quite, and it's all right, trusting that it's done.
Yeah.
And so what we want you to do is get your nose out of this. It's not any of your business. It's not any of your business how your lover comes, or when your lover comes, or who your lover, and we're talking about, it's not any of your negative physical humanness business. Right. is the business of the creator you that has set it into motion, you see. So when you talk about what you want and why you want it, you usually line up with it. When you talk about how it's going to come, when it's going to come, who's going to bring it, where it's going to come from, you usually offer resistance and you slow it down just a little bit. So say, I like to participate in online dating because every experience that I have causes me to get clear about what I want.
Absolutely.
But I'm not looking for that to be the avenue, because I'm open to allow the universe to yield to me in whatever way I can let it in. How do you feel about online dating? How long have you done it? What's your feeling about it? Has it been panning out, or has it been dead ends? What's your feeling about it?
Kind of both, but it's been fun in the way that I do see, oh, more of this, not so much of this, more of this.
Well, if you see it as a process through which you collect more data, it serves you. If you see it as the means to the end, and your feeling about that is it hasn't been panning out, then you contradict your desire by focusing on that. There's no right or wrong in what you do. There is no right and wrong in what you say or think. There's only a worse feeling and a better feeling, a worse feeling and a better feeling. So if you say, I'm thinking about online dating, and you feel kind of uneasy about it, and then you say, oh, I don't know if I want to go through that, and you're still more splitting your gap. And then you say, on the other hand, it's sort of fun. Well, you kind of close the gap. And I meet nice people. Well, you kind of close the gap. And it is an opportunity to get clear about what I want. You sort of close the gap. Oh, but there's so much sifting I have to go through. You widen the gap. Oh, I really hoped that one would be the one. There were 10 things out of 140 that he had. Just get out of your head and into your emotion about it. Do what feels good. Here's the thing. Do you get it that this larger you, that law of attraction is responding to that, and that it's creating a current or a stream that you can feel?
Yeah.
So when you feel something that feels good, like interest or excitement, or oh, I have an idea, or wouldn't this be fun, or oh, I just love that. When you have those feelings that feel like interest or something that you want to do, that's the feeling of inspiration. That's the feeling of being in the vicinity and source calling you toward an avenue that could very well lead you to something that would lead you to something that would lead you to something, or maybe right to it. In other words, following that feeling of enthusiasm is always being on your path. But if you say, I think I should get very deliberate about this. It's been quite a long while and my family is getting restless. Let's see, in what ways can I put myself in a position where I can meet this person? Now you're trying to motivate yourself, and you can tell by the way you feel you don't really want to do it, but you sort of think you should do it, and you want to keep the odds up, and you can't win if you don't play, that sort of thing.
So true.
You want to be called to it. You don't want to motivate yourself to it.
I remember last time I was here, you said, I'm not showing up because I don't feel worthy. And I just want to thank you, because I really feel I'm on that path to feeling worthy, which makes me closer.
And we want to make sure that everyone understands that what a feeling of worthiness is just not beating the drum that doesn't match who you are. Absolutely. The source within you loves you. When you're mad at you, you're not a match and you feel unworthy. The source within you knows you can do whatever you want to do. And when you doubt it, you're not a match. And you use the word unworthy to describe that. When you've asked for something and you are thinking about it as it is in vibrational escrow, you tune into it and you feel fulfilled. Good word, isn't it? You're full of yourself. So all that unworthy means is I'm choosing to use something, not even necessarily about myself. I'm choosing to use something as my current excuse to not be up to speed with who I really am. Another way of saying unworthy is this. Unworthy is not seeing it through the eyes of source. Worthy, the feeling of worthiness, is seeing it through the eyes of source. Good to know.
Thank you.
So when you see someone that you're mad at, you're not seeing them through the eyes of source. And that contributes to your feeling of unworthiness. When you blame someone or hate someone or fear someone, you're not seeing them through the eyes of source, and that contributes to your not being in alignment, that's why so many people are running around using the buzzword unworthy, and we want to replace the word unworthy with an understanding that all a feeling of unworthiness is being not me, not who I really am, unsource-like, unfulfilled, unconnected to who I really am, disallowing of who I am, resisting the fullness of who I am. Excellent.
That's beautiful.
It is.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.